hope you're doing fine. Just as I promised earlier that we shall be able to look at other components of monitoring and evaluation. I remember as we had discussed earlier that monitoring and evaluation are a set of processes that help us to be able to do checks and balances for our project, so that one, we're able to know if we are in line with our set objective, and also in terms of the inputs and the outputs and the outcomes are providing the effective and the relevant results that were anticipated in the project design. And again, we are actually on the right course towards our overall project objective. So M&D, as all of us want to agree, is that it helps us, one, in providing accountability to our project. It also helps us in coordination and leadership of the overall project delivery and implementation. And it also helps us to develop a good and clear communication tool to the project beneficiaries, the stakeholders, and also overall the donors or the financials of our project. So I want today to just look at key components of things that are very key when thinking about project evaluation. And one thing that is going to be our major focus today is the theory of change. The theory of change, or what is normally known as a development hypothesis. Because as an implementer, it's always good to come up with the theory of change. Theory of change is a statement describing the expected results of or activities in reference to your stated problem. It says clearly what the intended outcome of the program will be, and also your presentation on how and why you believe change will occur by implementing that project. So the theory of change actually illustrates your assumptions of how your activities will lead to your intended goal. I don't know if that is coming out clearly, that our development hypothesis always tends to illustrate our assumption of how the activities we are going to carry out in the project will help in contributing to the overall solution that we had intended at the conception of the project. So we tend to always ask ourselves when thinking about coming up with an hypothesis, that if we do this kind of activity, then what will be our short-term outcome? Or when we do carry out certain interventions, what will be the midterm results? So we are creating our desired position at the earlier stages of our implementation. So we start thinking of the short-term results of the project and vis-a-vis their contribution to the overall long-term result of that implementation. Because the short-term results will always lead to the long-term impact. And that gives us a good measure that we had projected, or we had made certain assumptions, and these assumptions within the in the short term, this is what we anticipate to see, and in the long term, this is also what we anticipate to realize. Another good way of helping us be able to understand this is let's think of a project like training of teachers on a new curriculum. So we will say that our activity will be to offer capacity building to a specific number of teachers on CBC rollout. What is our short-term impact? Is that when the teachers will have will have capacity to give correct instructions guided by the curriculum, and then on the overall, we shall be able to have students with improved literacy levels. Another good example that brings out this very well is if you provide, let's say, loans to small scale traders, then it is our belief in the short term that the traders shall have increased sales. We also have enough stock of goods to trade on, and therefore our overall impact by such intervention is that the traders will have increased revenue and also enhanced livelihood. So in short, that is how our story of theory of change can be derived at. You can always make such an hypothesis, and when you have such an hypothesis, then it gives you a clear benchmark on how you're going to conduct your monitoring and evaluation towards that assumption that you had anticipated, you had already preempted.